Coming up on today's Disney Roundup, Disney Springs is preparing to start their phased reopening, new guidelines and implementations for the parks have been announced, and Disney CEO Bob Chapek's recent interview with CNBC on the company moving forward. I have all that and more for you coming up right here on the DRU. Hey, it's Jeff everyone, and welcome to the Disney Roundup, where I bring you up to date on what's going on with the Walt Disney Company and Disney parks each and every single week, except today's going to be a little bit different because today I'm going to be covering all of the parks reopening news. So really no outside of the parks or company news to report on, but it kind of all ties in together somewhat. But just a reminder as well, you can also download the Disney Roundup on podcast. You can download the Disney Roundup on Apple Podcast and on Spotify. But starting off with the news in the order that it was released to us, that last week following Disney's second fiscal earnings report for the year, which if you would like to see all of the earnings and all of the numbers for this fiscal report, I will leave a link to that in the description down below. I'm not going to be going over that today, but just know all of their numbers are down for this quarter, as you may be able to expect. But they also made the announcement that Shanghai Disneyland would be opening Monday, May 11th. And following that, Disney Parks Chief Medical Officer Pam Hymel shared her plans and consideration for the parks reopening. And of course, when the parks reopen, they're not going to just reopen all at once. It's going to be a phased reopening. So in the phased reopening that Pam has planned for the Disney parks will include a gradual reopening and or partial reopenings of certain locations. For example, the opening of retail and dining locations prior to the opening of the theme parks, i.e. pretty much Disney Springs, Downtown Disney, and of course how they did in Shanghai with Disneytown as well, which is their shopping center that they have out in Shanghai. There's also going to be physical distancing and capacity measures, but Pam has here that they will likely include implementation of guest capacity measures to comply with state and federal guidelines, also exploring ways to use technology to aid in these efforts, like with the Play Disney Parks app and through virtual queues at Disneyland and Walt Disney World. So my question now is how this will all compare with fast passes that you can make on the My Disney Experience app at Walt Disney World, and also with boarding groups like we use to ride Rise of the Resistance. So my guess is that during phase one, while there's not going to be a large capacity of people allowed in certain parks that they open, but I think that some of the more popular attractions could quite be fast pass only, but it's maybe very similar as well as fast passes in the future on how we have boarding groups now, where you are notified at a certain time when you are to arrive for that attraction, so there's not a great crowd of gathering of people in that area. But of course as well, lines and queues will need to be marked 6 feet apart to social distance between people as the parks reopen as well. Pam also covers in here cleanliness and sanitation, which we all know that the cleanliness and sanitation of the parks, resorts, restaurants is going to be an absolute must to increase over the years. And I think it's going to be really good too that cleanliness and sanitation is going to have a lot more attention to it. Now, I'm not saying that Walt Disney World was a filthy, dirty place. I know a lot of the cast members, the custodial, janitorial, do a great job of keeping the parks clean, but I think following this, Disney may be the cleanest ever, but we'll just have to wait and see. Also, for getting into the parks, screening and prevention support, there will be enhanced screening procedures and prevention measures, such as face covering, which will be wearing masks inside the parks. Some measures like adding hand sanitizers and hand washing in the parks as well. As we all know, before the parks closed, they added in the little kind of self-service hand washing stations in there. So they already have those. Cash training, they will be trained to be healthier, safer amongst other cast members and guests. But those are just a few ideas that they have now. As Shanghai Disney just opened this past Monday, some of the current safety regulations that they have there is that they're opening at only 30% capacity. Now, the 30% is just by the Shanghai government for now, but there's also implementing temperature screenings. Masks are required to be worn by cast members and guests. There is no parades and fireworks, which I expect to be the same for all the parks when they reopen, especially during phases 1 and phase 2. And there's also no close-up photos with characters as well. Now the big news that was released last week in a post from Disney Parks blog from Disney Springs Vice President Matt Simon, he stated the following: a phased reopening of Disney Springs will begin on Wednesday, May 20th. And in here, Simon mentions that limited shopping and dining experiences that are owned by third-party operating participants will begin to open during this initial phase. The rest of Walt Disney World Resort will remain closed, including theme parks and resort hotels. Also mentions enhanced safety measures, including increased cleaning procedures and the use of appropriate face coverings by both cast members and guests, limited contact guest services, and additional safety training for cast members as well. Just going to wearing face masks at Walt Disney World, I know it's not an unordinary thing over at Shanghai to see guests already wearing face masks, but as we're entering the summer year, especially down in Florida for Walt Disney World, I feel like this may be difficult for some people to have a mask over, especially during the hot temperatures that are starting to come now with the summer months. So I'm wondering how long it will be a requirement to wear a mask down there, especially not even just the parks, but in Disney Springs as well, and what the certain rules are, if when and where you can take your mask off. But let me know what you think of that in the comments down below. Also in here, Simon mentions that during the initial opening phase, Disney Springs will have limitations on capacity, parking, and operating hours. And in the future on DisneySprings.com, as they get closer to that May 20th reopening date, they will be posting more information and details on that. They have not posted anything on there since then, but I imagine probably around a week or so out, they'll be posting information there. I'll be sure to let you know all the latest information regarding that. So what it looks like Disney is doing here is that they're going to be following the same steps and procedures for opening all of their parks. And they're going to start off with opening their downtown shopping district like Shanghai Disney did. Now, Shanghai Disney opened their downtown shopping district, which is Disneytown, back on March 9th, and that led to them being able to start their phased reopening of the park itself on May 11th. Now, I'm not saying it's going to follow the same step-by-step procedures as for Walt Disney World or Disneyland, or maybe some of the other international parks, especially too since there's different mandates and regulations for each country here, and especially here in America. But if World were to follow the same time format, that could put the parks on pace, just guessing, just from the timeline, to open on July 22nd, which could be a possibility since Walt Disney World is now accepting reservations from July 1st and here on. However, the Walt Disney World Vice President just made an announcement regarding that, saying that it doesn't mean that they'll be operating for sure then. And I think a lot of people probably think that the parks will be opening sooner. I think they'll probably open sooner before they have guests come in and stay at the resorts, because I don't think Disney wants extra traffic coming to the parks, especially people flying and paying a bunch of money to stay and then not be able to enter the parks due to the limited capacity. But still just have to wait and see when that time comes. But as for now, there's a current list of restaurants that will be opening at Disney Springs on May 20th, and that will include Wine Bar George, STK Orlando, Wolfgang Puck Bar and Grill, Yasaki Kiosk, the Four Rivers Cantina Barbacoa Truck, the Polite Pig, Aaron McKenna's Bakery, and the Haagen-Dazs Ice Cream Shop as well. But yes, that's just for May 20th for the time being. But now, recently reported from WDW News Today, you can make dining reservations at Disney Springs for Disney-owned restaurants starting June 1st. This includes restaurants such as the Boathouse, Haleo, and the newly opened CityWorks Eatery and Poorhouse, and others. Of course, you can do this on the My Disney Experience app. There was some reservations you can make available. I'm not sure what's all available now, but as the Walt Disney World Vice President mentioned, along with the park openings, I think this could very well change as well. It looks like each week Disney is going to plan to add more overtime. They want to add more guests that are able to visit Disney Springs. They want to be able to open up more shops, more restaurants, and try to get back to some normalcy. Like, this is just phase 1 of the reopening, so we'll have to just get through this phase, get to the next phase, and then phase 3, which should be close to normalcy, but we'll just have to see when we get there. If you live in the Orlando area, or if you don't and you would go to Disney Springs on the reopening day, let me know in the comments down below. Let me know, would you go to Disney Springs on May 20th, the reopening? Credit that everything's not going to be open and there's going to be limited capacity, and it's not even a good chance probably that you'll be able to get in, but let me know about that in the comments down below if you would go or not. Now, just this past Monday on CNBC, Disney CEO Bob Chapek had his first interview regarding the company and how they plan to move forward following the pandemic. Now, when discussing Shanghai Disneyland, Chapek said that he was very encouraged on what they saw from the park's reopening day. He also noted that tickets for the remainder of the week were very scarce. Chapek said that the government has a 30% cap on the capacity of guests allowed to be able to go into the park, and the plan for now is to be able to increase by 5,000 guests a week until they're able to operate under their own guidelines. When asked, Chapek would not comment on any other of the park's reopening dates, but he also mentioned that it will be a requirement for cast members and guests to wear masks in the parks during the reopenings. And of course, that is implemented now at Shanghai Disneyland. That's going to be implemented at Disney Springs when that reopens. And Chapek also mentioned that it will be a requirement for cast members and guests to wear masks in the park during the reopening. And of course, now that is implemented over at Shanghai Disneyland for guests visiting over there, and that's going to be implemented for the reopening of Disney Springs as well. And when discussing movies and Disney Plus, Chapek didn't seem too worried or concerned about the success for upcoming tentpole films like Mulan, which is still scheduled for release in July, and believes the occupancy for theaters will only take a toll on weekend/evening nights, along with Sundays to an extent, as during the week theaters tend to be not as filled as they are on the weekends. But he believes that movie fans will still go and see the films, and theaters that they're teamed with will have to find ways to adjust to have their fans come in and watch their films. So if they keep their current scheduled dates, especially for Mulan, which is scheduled to come out at the end of July, let me know in the comments down below if you would still go see that or not. Because I'm a little wishy-washy about going to seeing that myself, but let me know in the comments down below if you would go see Mulan in theaters, especially if there was just limited tickets sold. One other thing that Chapek noted is that pre- and post-production is still happening during these times. He noted, as an example, The Mandalorian was already shot before COVID-19 hit in the United States and is still scheduled to debut on time, which is amazing news, especially for me. I love The Mandalorian. The Mandalorian's fantastic. I'm hoping it can be released earlier. I think that may be a little bit of stretch, but just wishful thinking, as right now The Mandalorian is still scheduled to be released on Disney Plus this October. But if you want to watch the full interview that Chapek had with CNBC, I will leave a link to that in the description down below so you can check that out. Alright everyone, well, that's all I have for you for this week's episode of the Disney Roundup. If you enjoyed it, please make sure to hit that like button for me, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel to receive the Disney Roundup each and every single week. And just a reminder, you can download the Disney Roundup on podcast, you can download the Disney Roundup on Apple Podcast and on Spotify. Well, that's all I have for you for this week. Until next time, we'll see you on the DRU.